In this chapter, you are going to continue your exploration about market structures by examining the market structure of a monopoly. So a monopoly is the market structure on the opposite side of the extreme from perfect competition. In a monopoly, this market structure has as little competition as is theoretically possible. And in the next chapter, we'll discuss the market structures of monopolistic competition and oligopoly, and they are in the middle of this range of competition. So in the monopoly market structure, you have multiple criteria as you had with the perfect competition, except in these criteria, a monopolist is when there is one seller and there are no close substitutes. And there is some sort of barrier to entry. There is something that is preventing other firms from doing what the monopolist is doing. And they can be very legal barriers. For example, a patent is a barrier to entry. It prevents other firms from producing the thing that you're producing if you have a patent on it. You might possibly own the resources that are necessary to produce this product, and therefore nobody else can produce it because you happen to own the resources that are used to make this product. Or you might have what's called a natural monopoly. So in this chapter you'll also learn what a natural monopoly is. Essentially, a natural monopoly is when really it's just cheaper to have one firm produce it than to have competition in the market for producing whatever the service is. The key in a monopoly is that the firm in the monopoly is a price maker. And this is one of the things that causes a great deal of struggle for many people, is that the monopolist does indeed control the price. However, you will learn that in order to maximize profits, the monopolist is not going to just simply charge the highest price that's out there. They're still going to maximize profits where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. And so you will discover that while the monopolist has the power, they're still going to set the price where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. And in order to make profits, they're going to obviously want to use those barriers to entry to keep their profits. It is possible for the monopolist to earn economic profit. They could lose money. They can earn economic losses also. But if there's a barrier to entry and the firm is making an economic profit, then they will continue to earn that economic profit as long as the demand stays for the product. You will also discover a special kind of monopolistic behavior, that of what's called price discrimination. So essentially, this is where the monopolist charges different prices for different people based on what they're willing to pay. And in many cases, it is legal to do this, and it is possible to do this. In fact, if you can price discriminate successfully as a monopolist, you'll earn even more profit than if you were a single price monopolist. You'll also have an opportunity to compare and contrast perfect competition and monopoly, and you'll realize that monopolists do tend to charge a higher price than if there were competition in the market. A monopolist will charge higher prices, and they tend to offer lower output. The quantity tends to be less than if there were a perfectly competitive market. Competition tends to bring down the prices and increase the output. So in summary, what you should look for are the characteristics of the monopoly market structure, and identify what those characteristics are. Look for examples of those characteristics. You'll also work through a couple of examples, mathematical examples of maximizing profits, essentially where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. And then you'll explore a little bit more detail about price discriminating monopolists. They're still going to maximize profits, but they'll do it in a little bit different format than the single price monopolist.